Detective James Miller stared at the antique clock shop's shattered window. At 3 a.m., the usually quiet Baker Street was filled with police cars and flashing lights. Inside, the body of old Mr. Thompson, the famous clockmaker, lay motionless among his beloved timepieces. "What have we got?" Miller asked Officer Roberts, who was first on the scene. Thomas Thompson, age 68, shop owner, found dead by the cleaning lady when she arrived at 2:45 a.m. No signs of forced entry except the broken window, but here's the strange part: it was broken from the inside. Miller walked carefully through the glass fragments. The shop was a maze of ticking clocks, grandfather clocks, cuckoo clocks, pocket watches, all still marking time as their master lay dead. Nothing seemed stolen, which made the break-in even more puzzling. The victim clutched a piece of paper in his hand. Miller carefully extracted it, finding a cryptic message. "Time flows backward when hands point true. Find me where 6 and 2 make blue. Below the face where numbers dance lies the secret of your last chance." "Sir," called Officer Roberts, "we found Mr. Thompson's journal. Last entry says he was meeting someone named tonight about special commission." Miller examined the body closer. No signs of violence, but a half-empty teacup sat on the workbench. He ordered it sent to the lab for analysis. 3 suspects emerged during the morning interviews. Henry Wallace, a rival clockmaker who had accused Thompson of stealing his designs. Hannah Thompson, the victim's daughter, who had recently argued with him about selling the shop. Harold Baker, a wealthy collector who had tried to buy a specific antique clock but was refused. All 3 had alibis, but something wasn't adding up. Miller returned to the shop that afternoon. The Riddle mentioned 6 and 2. Looking around, he noticed a magnificent blue-faced clock mounted on the wall. The hands were stuck at 6 too. "Get me everything about this clock," he ordered. The investigation revealed it was Thompson's masterpiece, completed just a week ago. A custom order for a mysterious client who never collected it. Miller examined the clock carefully. Below the face, hidden behind the delicate machinery, he found a small compartment. Inside was a USB drive and another note. "If you're reading this, I'm probably dead. I discovered something while repairing an antique clock from the City Museum. The truth about the museum heist last year, names, dates, evidence. They offered to buy my silence. When I refused, they threatened Hannah. I'm meeting them tonight to negotiate. If anything happens to me, everything is on this drive." The lab results came back. The tea contained a lethal dose of digitalis, a heart-stopping poison that leaves no trace after 24 hours. Miller gathered all 3 suspects at the shop that evening. The truth had been staring at him all along, hidden in plain sight among the endless ticking of clocks. Mr. Thompson was poisoned between 11 p.m. and midnight yesterday. He knew his killer, let them in willingly for tea. But he also knew they might try something. That's why he left the Riddle. Miller turned to Henry Wallace. "You claimed you were home all night, but your car was caught on traffic cameras near here at 11:15 p.m. Wallace's face remained stone cold. "Proves nothing. I drive by here to get home." "True. But you also recently lost a major contract to Mr. Thompson." "A contract with the City Museum." Miller continued. "The museum heist last year, millions in artifacts stolen, never recovered. While repairing their antique clock, Thompson found evidence about who was really behind it. Evidence that would ruin certain people. People like you, Mr. Wallace. When Thompson threatened to expose you, you arranged this meeting. You poisoned his tea, but he suspected you might try something. He broke the window himself after drinking the tea, making it look like a break-in. His last act was leaving us the path to the truth. Wallace's composure cracked. He was going to destroy everything I built. Years of reputation, connections, all gone because of some old fool's moral compass. And now you'll lose it all anyway, Miller said, as officers moved in to make the arrest. Along with your freedom. Later, Miller watched Hannah Thompson unlock the shop. Among the dancing shadows, cast by the swaying lamp, hundreds of clocks ticked in perfect symphony, remembering their old master and keeping his final secret safe until justice was served. The old clockmaker had the last laugh after all. Even in death, he had made time work in his favor, leading them step by step to the truth hidden among his beloved timepieces. The next morning's papers would call it the clockmaker's last riddle, but for Detective Miller, it would always be the case that proved every second counts in the pursuit of justice.